All right, diving right in today, we're tackling snorkeling safety.
Ooh.
And we've got some compelling stuff to unpack. News reports, even a snorkeling course document, all stemming from that tragic accident in Penghu, Taiwan.
Right.
So maybe you're planning a trip or just curious about, the hidden dangers of something that seems so simple, right?
It does.
We'll be looking into the incident itself, the allure of snorkeling, obviously the risks involved,
Of course.
and most importantly, how to stay safe while enjoying that amazing underwater world.
That's the key, isn't it? Finding that balance.
Exactly. So let's rewind June 8th, 2024.
Okay.
A man from Taichung snorkeling in Penghu, part of a guided tour, wearing standard safety gear.
Right.
And tragically, despite all this, he drowns.
It's what's so striking about. It wasn't like he was alone, some reckless thing.
Right.
He was with a group, had a guide, the gear.
It makes you think.
And it still happened.
Yeah. It really does. The report mentioned other snorkelers there, everyone enjoying the scenery.
Yeah.
Then he drifts away. And it seems like nobody immediately grasped the severity of this situation.
It's a crucial point. Even in a group, that individual awareness, being able to recognize distress signals,
Absolutely.
both your own and those around you, it can be life-saving.
Absolutely. By the time others noticed rescue attempts began, it was too late.
Tragic really drives home that water demands respect.
Yeah, you get caught up in the beauty. You forget things can go wrong fast.
It's easy to.
This just underscores safety can't be an afterthought.
No. Now, this begs the question, why is snorkeling so popular,
Right.
despite these inherent risks?
Right. It's relatively easy, affordable. You get to see these incredible ecosystems. You don't need complex diving gear.
Right.
So it's open to a wide range of people.
That accessibility, though, that's the double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because it seems so straightforward. People underestimate, the need for actual swimming skills.
Right.
Water safety knowledge.
And here's the kicker. Our sources suggest snorkeling accidents might actually be more frequent than those in quote-unquote riskier water sports.
That statistic, it always raises eyebrows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Challenges our assumptions.
I think it's this false sense of security,
Yeah.
especially the over-reliance on equipment like life jackets.
The life jacket dilemma.
It is essential,
Of course.
but it's not a substitute for personal skills, awareness.
Exactly.
And this snorkeling course document we have dives into some specific equipment pitfalls.
Okay.
Let's start with breathing tubes. Seems simple, but
But panic sets in, QTK, if water gets in. Inexperienced snorkelers, that instinct is to inhale through the nose,
right.
leading to choking, potentially. Mastering those breathing techniques, clearing the tube, crucial.
Then there's mask issues.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's had a leaky mask, right?
Everyone, at some point,
But it's that split-second reaction,
that's it.
that instinctive gasp through the nose.
Turns a minor leak into real danger.
Yeah.
Knowing how to calmly clear that mask.
It's those small things, man, that
Okay.
escalate if you're not prepared.
If you're not ready,
The document also points out something as simple as changing positions to see a fish
right.
can let water in your tube.
Especially if you're not mindful of the current, your body position.
Yeah.
Snorkeling is this constant
Right.
balance, right? Observing the world down there,
Right.
but being aware of your place in it.
And this all ties back to that over-reliance on buoyancy aids. You're always depending on that life vest.
Yeah.
You might neglect the swimming skills that could save your life.
Right. If something goes wrong with the equipment,
Yeah.
it's having layers of safety.
Right.
Knowing that no single element is foolproof.
So we've got life jackets, guides, the gear itself. But it all comes down to personal awareness, doesn't it?
In the end, without that, all those other measures might not be enough.
So let's get practical then.
Okay.
What are some specific things our listeners can do to stay safe while snorkeling?
All right. First and foremost, swimming skills. Got to be a competent swimmer before even thinking about snorkeling.
Right.
Comfortable in the water, able to tread water, ideally familiar with self-rescue techniques even.
So if someone's feeling a little shaky, professional lessons are a good investment.
Oh, absolutely. Building that confidence in the water.
Yeah.
Then comes mastering your gear.
Right.
Spend time, safe environment like a pool.
Yeah.
Get comfortable with your mask, breathing tube, fins.
Take learning to dry.
Exactly. You wouldn't just hop in a car and hit the highway.
Yeah.
No practice.
Right.
So familiarize yourself with the equipment, practice those techniques. Then, before open water, research the location.
Yeah.
Understand water conditions, tides, potential hazards.
And choose a site that matches your skill level. Don't jump into the deep end, so to speak, before you're ready.
Absolutely. And never snorkel alone.
Yeah.
Buddy system is crucial.
Yeah.
Stay within sight, check in regularly, be ready to assist if needed.
Okay, we've talked a lot about individual responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the bigger picture? What roles do, say, the government, tour operators, even the media
Oh, that's a good point.
play in all this?
Well, government side, strict safety regulations, enhanced patrols, well-equipped rescue services.
Mm-hmm.
Those can really improve overall safety.
And for tour operators.
Professional training for their guides is huge.
Right.
Limiting group sizes, investing in good safety equipment.
It seems like education is another crucial piece.
Oh, absolutely. Integrating water safety into school curricula.
Yeah.
Promoting swimming skills young. It creates a generation comfortable and responsible in the water.
It's about building a culture of safety.
It is.
Not just reacting after something happens.
Combative, yeah.
And the media can play a role too, right?
For sure. Responsible reporting on accidents, safety campaigns, educational content, demystifying the risks.
Right.
It all raises public awareness.
So it's multi-pronged. Everyone's got a part to play.
We all...
But as we've said, starts with personal responsibility.
It always comes back to that.
Empowering people to make smart decisions, understand the risks, take ownership of their safety in the water. That's where it begins.
That's the foundation.
We've covered a lot of ground here. From that tragic incident that sparked our deep dive to the allure of snorkeling, the risks involved,
of course,
proper equipment use, the importance of personal awareness.
They're all connected.
We've explored the shared responsibility,
Yeah.
how different groups can make snorkeling safer.
Absolutely.
We're going to dive even deeper after a quick break.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
So before we jumped away there, we were unpacking that multi-layered approach to snorkeling safety.
Right.
And it's clear equipment alone.
Right.
External measures, they're not enough.
Not at all. That Penghu incident tragically proves it.
Yeah.
Even being part of a guided tour, life jacket, didn't guarantee a different outcome.
It really hammers home the point. Safety isn't something that just happens to you, right?
Right.
It's an active process.
It is.
Continuous awareness, informed decisions, being willing to adapt to those changing conditions.
Couldn't agree more. We can list safety tips all day.
Yeah.
But how do we make them stick?
Right.
It's about fostering a genuine culture of personal responsibility.
Okay, I'm all ears.
In water activities, yeah.
How do we cultivate that kind of mindset?
One powerful approach, I think, is to reframe how we view those safety measures.
Okay.
Instead of limitations, we need to present them as tools for empowerment.
Interesting. So instead of, ugh, I have to wear this life jacket,
Exactly.
this gives me the freedom to explore further without worrying.
That's the shift.
Yeah.
From obligation to empowerment. Another powerful tool is storytelling.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language.
I thought you might like that one.
How does that play into safety?
Personal narratives.
Okay.
Especially those that involve near misses or highlight what happens when you neglect precautions. They can be so impactful. They connect with us on an emotional level.
It makes the risks feel real.
Makes them real relatable.
I get it. Stories of people who maybe messed up but learned from it.
Right, right.
Or those who narrowly avoided disaster because they took precautions.
Exactly. Learning from the experience of others, both positive and negative.
Yeah, those stick with you.
They do. Then there's the power of community.
Community. Now you got me curious. How does that fit in with snorkeling safety?
When we see our peers prioritizing safety.
Okay.
When we're surrounded by a culture that values responsible behavior in the water.
Yeah.
It normalizes those actions. It encourages us to do the same.
Like positive peer pressure.
Exactly.
If everyone's checking their gear, buddying up, being mindful of limits.
Sets the tone.
It sets the expectation.
Creates a ripple effect even. Moving beyond those individual groups, influencing the whole culture.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, shifting gears a bit, what about technology? Any innovations out there changing the game when it comes to snorkeling safety?
Absolutely. Wearable technology, making waves, literally. Yeah. We're seeing smartwatches now. They can detect if a swimmer is unconscious, in distress. They can automatically send alerts to designated contacts, even emergency services.
That's incredible. Like a personal safety net?
Exactly. We also have GPS-enabled devices specifically designed for water activities.
Right.
Track your location, set boundaries for your snorkeling area, even send distress signals if needed.
It's amazing how technology gives us that added layer of security.
It is.
While we're out there enjoying these activities.
Of course, technology is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Right.
It enhances our ability to respond to unexpected situations.
Yeah.
But it's not a substitute for basic safety practices, responsible behavior.
I hear you. It's like that fire extinguisher in the kitchen.
There you go.
It's great to have ease in an emergency, but it doesn't mean you should leave your stove unattended.
Perfect analogy. Technology should complement, not replace, our own judgment, our vigilance.
Okay, so we've covered personal responsibility, the influence of community, even the role of technology. What other factors contribute to creating a safer environment? For snorkeling, other water activities?
You know, it's crucial to acknowledge that not all risks are equal.
Okay.
There are inherent risks, just being in the water, period.
Right.
But then there are preventable risks, the ones we can mitigate through planning, smart decision-making.
So understanding that distinction is key. Can you elaborate on those two types?
Sure. Inherent risks, they're just part of the activity itself. Encountering unexpected currents, marine life.
You can't eliminate those, but you can manage them.
Exactly. Choosing appropriate locations, being prepared for changing conditions, having the skills to respond.
Right.
All that plays a part.
And preventable risks, those are the ones where we have more control.
You got it. Neglecting weather forecasts, overestimating our swimming abilities, using faulty equipment, venturing out alone.
Right.
Addressing those head-on, we significantly reduce our exposure to avoidable danger.
Being proactive, not just hoping for the best.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Taking ownership of our safety, recognizing we have a role to play, creating a safer environment for ourselves and for those around us.
I like this proactive approach. Now, you mentioned pre-trip planning earlier.
Yeah.
What are some essential things to consider before we even get in the water?
First and foremost, choose your snorkeling location wisely.
Okay.
Don't just pick a spot on a whim.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Okay.
Look into the conditions, potential hazards. Is it suitable for your skill level?
Right.
Look for areas known for calm waters, good visibility, interesting marine life, all that good stuff.
So do your homework. What else?
Make sure you're physically up for the challenge.
Right.
Snorkeling, while enjoyable, can be demanding. Need a reasonable level of fitness to handle the exertion.
And if you have any pre-existing medical conditions...
Oh, absolutely.
Talk to your doctor before you go.
Essential. It's also a good idea to brush up on basic first aid, CPR.
Yeah, good point.
You just never know. Those skills could come in handy, not just for yourself, but for someone else.
And of course, the golden rule.
Always.
Let someone know your plans.
Right. Tell a friend, family member where you're going, when you'll be back, who to contact if they don't hear from you.
Simple, but could be crucial.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the unexpected, weather.
Well, yeah.
But it can change in an instant, right?
Mother Nature is unpredictable. Always check the forecast before heading out. Wind speeds, wave heights, potential storms, shifts in conditions, all of it.
Even if the forecast looks perfect.
Be prepared.
Be ready for sudden changes.
Pack for various conditions, waterproof jacket, windbreaker.
Yeah.
Be ready to adjust your plans if necessary. Better safe than sorry, as they say.
This has been so eye-opening.
Glad to hear it.
I already feel more informed. We went from that tragic incident that sparked this whole deep dive to the allure of snorkeling.
Of course.
The importance of choosing the right location, understanding the risks, pre-trip planning.
It's multi-layered, isn't it?
It really is. All those layers.
Yeah.
We've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore.
I know. So much more. We're going to dive into the psychological aspects of risk perception.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Explore some advanced safety techniques. Stay tuned.
Okay, we're back. And before we took that little pause, we were talking about pre-trip planning.
Right. Being proactive.
And recognizing those different kinds of risks, inherent versus preventable.
Exactly. Choosing the right location, your skill level, making sure you're physically up for it, letting someone know your plans.
All about minimizing those avoidable risks.
Absolutely.
So important to be prepared.
It is.
And not just assume everything's going to be fine.
No assumptions in the water.
Right. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about the psychological side of things.
Okay, interesting. Even with the best preparation, our own minds can trip us up when it comes to assessing risk.
That's true.
So how does psychology play into this whole snorkeling thing?
Well, one common thing is something called the optimism bias.
Okay.
It's that human tendency. We underestimate the likelihood of bad things happening to U.S.,
Right.
even when we know the risks.
So we think, oh, that accident, that won't happen to me.
Exactly.
Even though we've just read about it or heard the cautionary tale.
It's easy to think that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And this bias, it gets even stronger when we're on vacation.
Oh, of course.
Excited, new environment, eager to have fun.
Right, right.
We might downplay the potential dangers or overestimate our own abilities.
Rose-colored vacation goggles filtering out the bad stuff.
That's a good way to put it. Then there's the familiarity bias.
Okay.
We tend to feel safer in familiar surroundings.
Right.
Doing things we've done before, even if those things still have risks.
So if I've gone snorkeling a few times without incident, I might get a little cocky, even though conditions could be different.
That's it. Every snorkeling experience is unique.
Right.
Assess the risks based on the current situation, not just your past.
So how do we fight these mental biases? They sound pretty ingrained.
Awareness is the first step. Just knowing they exist helps us question our assumptions, make more objective decisions.
So taking a moment, asking yourself, am I being overly optimistic here? Am I letting familiarity make me complacent?
Exactly. And it's helpful to actively seek out info that challenges our assumptions.
Okay.
Read about snorkeling accidents, talk to experienced folks.
Learn from other people's mistakes.
You got it. Now let's move on to some advanced safety techniques.
All right, level up our skills.
We've covered the basics, but there's always more to learn to be even more prepared.
I'm all for that. What kind of techniques are we talking about?
Well, one valuable skill is learning to free dive.
Okay.
Diving down below the surface, holding your breath.
Sounds a little risky.
It can be, if not done properly. That's why it's essential to learn from a qualified instructor.
Right, of course.
Proper techniques for breath holding, equalization, safe ascent.
So there's a science to it.
There is. Understanding how your body reacts to pressure.
Yeah.
Knowing your limits, managing your breath, your buoyancy.
Gotcha. Now, what about those unexpected situations? Like getting caught in a current, separated from your buddy?
Important scenarios to think about. Learning to navigate currents is crucial.
Okay.
Don't fight the current directly. Swim across it diagonally or find a calmer area.
Right, right.
To rest, figure out your next move.
And if you get separated from your buddy?
Stay calm. Signal for help. That's priority one.
Makes sense.
Establish a clear signal beforehand. Waving your arms.
Yeah.
A whistle.
Okay.
If you have a signaling device, mirror, dive alert. Use it.
Having those plans in place.
That's it.
Practicing those skills so you're ready to react.
You're prepared.
Exactly. Now, what about those cool innovations in gear and tech that are coming out?
Oh, there's some really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
That can enhance both safety and the enjoyment.
I do love gear talk. What's new and exciting?
Well, one trend is the full-face snorkel masks.
Okay.
They cover your whole face. You breathe naturally through your nose and the mouth.
More comfortable, I bet.
Oh, much more. And less chance of water getting in, since there's no mouthpiece.
And I bet some even have cameras built in.
You bet. Capture those underwater adventures hands-free.
Technology is really transforming the experience.
It is. We're also seeing inflatable snorkeling vests.
Okay.
Provide buoyancy, but deflate for easy packing.
So convenient for travel.
Exactly. And for those who want to go deeper, cover more ground.
Yeah.
Personal underwater propulsion devices.
Oh, like little scooters.
Battery-powered, glide through the water effortlessly.
Sounds like something out of a spy movie.
It does, doesn't it? But remember, even with all the cool gadgets,
right.
Safety first. Use them responsibly within your limits. Follow those guidelines.
Embracing innovation, but staying grounded in safe practices.
Well said. And as with anything, ongoing education, skill development.
Leap learning.
Stay up to date on safety recommendations. Practice those skills.
It's about being a lifelong student of the underwater world.
I like that.
Respecting its power, approaching it with wonder, humility, and preparedness.
Beautifully put. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Given everything we've talked about today, personal responsibility, community, technology, those sneaky mental biases.
Right, right.
How can we create a culture where safety isn't an afterthought, but just part of the snorkeling experience itself?
That's a powerful question for us all to consider as we head out on our next underwater adventures. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I hope you feel empowered to make informed choices.
I hope so, too.
Prioritize safety and experience the wonders of the underwater world responsibly.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, happy and safe snorkeling.